Here we go.
You are Comrade Ivan Ivanovich Privalov. In 1961, you were selected for the Shukovgrad Interrogaute Exploration Programme SSSR. Despite failing your basic physical and being caught cheating on your entrance exams, on the morning of the 12th of April 1962, you boarded a rocket drill containing the experimental device Little Orpheus, with the purpose of descending through the Earth's crust to discover the relative hollowness of the interior and its suitability for colonization.
No, you've lost me, General. Did I do what?
You and Little Orpheus were dropped into an extinct volcano to drill to the center of the Earth and find out if we could establish a city there. Note, if you will, that this date is over 3 years ago.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how much should be zoomed in or out. Gigantic mushrooms.
Ivan Ivanovich, can you describe Little Orpheus to me?
Of course. It was large and round and had something of a disagreeable smell.
I was referring to its technical specification.
Well, General, I am no man of science, but it had this radio thing that I was supposed to use to let the surface know I had arrived, and some sort of battery wrapped in this lead box. But I was told to not touch anything under any circumstances, and I did notice the engineers who worked on it were quite a shifty bunch.
Why the Cold War ended? It got too hot in the center of the Earth. The ground is a shifty bunch. But I agree, Angela, it does have some nice visuals. It's better to use the arrow keys then. Well, Little Orpheus isn't all that little. Reminds me of a song about Hank Williams Jr. Expect this game to have good visuals. It is a 2D game. It's over 6 gigabytes large.
The Little Orpheus device contained a radio transmitter capable of sending a signal through miles of solid rock. In order to boost this, a powerful energy source was required. An atomic bomb, comrade.
That is very
Privalov.
powerful.
An atomic bomb that you have lost somewhere below the Earth's crust.
Ah, yes, that bomb. Of course, General. I can explain everything. But it is a long and somewhat complicated story. And let me assure you, this is not a case of milking chickens. But you won't understand where your bomb and Little Orpheus has ended up unless I start at the very beginning and you let me tell you where I've been for the last 3 years.
Did you just say this is not a case of milk and chickens? Is that a Russian expression? But yeah, this does look like Little Nightmares just with communism. Which is another modern era cinematic platformer that we'll play one fine September. After, you know, I buy it on sale because I am dropping $20.
But this had better be good.
Good, General. It's more than good. It's extraordinary.
Oh.
And it began like this.
What the Soviets do with their chickens is Soviet business. So do you like dunk the chickens in the milk? Or do you feed milk to the chickens? I have so many questions. It's like is that a whale? Are all these things actually going to happen to us? Dinosaurs, whales, aliens, or giant robots or something, rocket ships. Oh, this intro is beautiful. Oh, I love it. Episode 1. Comrades, to the center!
An extraordinary sight. I realized this must be the fabled land of Plutonia, as documented by the brilliant scholar Obruchev. A trail of destruction, carved by the rocket drill, led down into the wild and mysterious jungle.
Land of
The
Plutonia.
rocket drill itself must have snapped in half somewhere below Kamchatka.
Ooh.
And Little Orpheus bounced out and became lost in that prehistoric forest. If I was ever to get home, my mission was clear. To find Little Orpheus.
Right, yeah, it is very much like Land of the Lost. Same kind of like, you know, concept of the hollow earth and old like 1930s science fiction
I
stories.
steeled myself and plunged deeper into that prehistoric jungle
Ooh,
where
dragonfly.
insects the size of dogs buzzed around.
Dogs. What sort of dogs?
I beg your pardon, General?
Large dogs or small dogs? Big like an ovcharka or small like a barlonka?
Does it really matter?
Of course. Detail is all important.
Ovcharka then, General. The size of an ovcharka.
I find that very hard to believe.
Would you find it easier if they were the size of a balanka?
No. But I am enjoying your attempts to persuade me.
I can't tell. Can you guys tell what it's saying I'm supposed to press? To slide? Let me look up the controls. Hold on, I'm like zooming in 10 times to try and see the tiny dark text on a dark background written. I think that's control. Does that say shift? Whatever that button is. Hold on, we'll figure out this game yet. Okay, shift. Yeah, no, this is... It was like... We'll have such a great presentation that we'll do something like that that's like wildly inaccessible. Like, why couldn't you just write shift? Was it one more word you wouldn't have to translate when you translated this into Welsh? Oh well. We figured out things far more ridiculous than that. Eventually some of these insects are going to come after us. On food of the gods. So far they're staying in the background. Oh! Watch out for that tree! Oh, that's a vine.
Another part of the rocket drill.
Ooh.
But still no sign of Little Orpheus.
How am I going to reassemble that? Whoa! Damn. Now I know how Donnie's bedroom feels. Like, I don't like all these creaking sounds. I think it's timed. Thank you for coming by, Angela. I really appreciate it. Always great to see you, and I hope you get a good night's sleep. Wait, was I going down or up at this point? Alright, it was over here. Up. Always great to see you.
Another part of the rocket drill. But still no sign of Little Orpheus.
Hey, look, a sign. How detailed is that? The branch fell in the background. Wait, this game have quick time events? I think that's what that was. No! Oh, it's a dinosaur.
And the trees, I could see huge beasts, larger and more ancient than any known to our modern times. Could it be that Obrachev was right? And deep below the Earth's surface, prehistoric monsters still roam freely.
Yes, but Little Orpheus.
Oh. I don't know. Essentially, it's going to try and nibble on that vine. We've played Jurassic Park Arcade. We know how this ends up. Should have gone for it. Oop. Barely made it. Oh, there are leaves. Uh-oh. Maybe he didn't notice me, chat.
That terrible lizard intent on making a snack of me was none other than the most awful of the monsters, the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, now you are an expert on dinosaurs.
Oh, hardly an expert, General. Just educated by the best schools in the world, like all good socialists. And I remembered one crucial thing.
I'm listening.
Well, its greed is without bottom, its hunger is ferocious, but its brain is absolutely tiny. So, it can roar and roar as much as it likes, but it will never be a match for the sharpened mind of the good Soviet worker. All it needed was a plan to outwit the monster.
They don't see us outrunning the monster. Oop. Aha. Let me see if we can push this. He's still looking for me.
Imagine my shock and surprise to find in that clearing the last part of the rocket drill. More shocking was the fact it had been ransacked. Someone had made off with the tools, the weapons, the rations, and the spare parts for the Pragviev.
Those thieves.
To suspect foul play. Perhaps Little Orpheus was not lost at all, but stolen. All I could do was follow the trail further into Plutonia.
It was probably the Americans. They probably had a team down here too. Oh, giant skeleton. Hey, Island by the Sea, did you see that? That was a skeleton if ever I saw one. Hide behind these rocks. T-Rex have a keen sense of smell. Oh, no. Wow, it's beautifully made. Shouldn't you be, like, eating something bigger? Like, there's some, 20-ton brachiosaurs back there, and yet you're going after the guy who's like, not even a
So we
mouthful.
all agree this was the fabled land of Plutonia, do we? I don't remember accepting that.
I will admit it might not have been Plutonia if you are prepared to accept the dinosaur.
This isn't a negotiation, Ivan Ivanovich.
General, you can disagree all you like, but there's very little you can do to persuade me it wasn't a dinosaur.
I might not be able to persuade you, but I can always have you shoot.
That's very persuasive. I'm not sure it was a dinosaur at all, chat. It could have been, what's the alternative? An elephant. Chinese room. Are they the ones that did the Stanley Parable? Yeah, that name. Run for it. see me under here, right? Can I drag it? Yes. Nope, 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 nope. I got munched. Oh, alright. Fall damage is generally a thing in cinematic platformers. Can't see me down here. Yeah, stealth game. Too high for him to reach. Nah. He'll reach me if he wants to. Hey, at least we're having fun while almost dying. Uh-oh. Eggs. Can I crouch? It's part of the stealth. There. Barnyard segment in the Garfield TV show. There was a character that was just an egg with legs sticking out. Really somebody that doesn't like omelets. Yep. Remember, if you want to be a vegan Tyrannosaurus Rex, you can't eat eggs. They don't count as vegan. Have to use something else when you're cooking, like garbanzo beans. He was definitely suspicious of that egg. The music, too.
in an egg.
Yes, General. I hid in an egg.
I am glad to hear your military training was not wasted. If only I had a single legion of men as brave and ingenious as you, with only 100 men equipped with eggs to hide in, we could roll across Europe in a day.
General, are you mocking me?
You are as sharp as you are brave, Tovarish.
I mean, what could I have done against a T-Rex when I was unarmed? We can't all be like you, General. It's entirely too peaceful here. Oh wait, maybe. Looks like I can go up there. Yeah. Oh. Don't like how these are only held up by vines. I'll probably have to drag something. Yes. Unless... I doubt if I push the edge I can make that jump. The question is, who built these massive stone ruins? Because, you see the size of the T-Rex's hands? I don't think he could have managed that. Maybe... Did I do that? Oh, I did do that. Yeah, could never have made that jump. But now...
Couldn't believe it. I still struggle to believe it. A whole lost city, buried in that jungle deep below the crust of the earth. Who would have thought it was possible?
Who indeed? It is, of course, a shame you didn't think to record the moment for posterity and help us all to get over our disbelief.
But I did, General, I did. My training was excellent, and I immediately took out my cosmonaut and began to document all I could.
Not close enough. Wait, is that the climbable vine? Yes. Suspect. Oh, the vine's attached to that.
So, where is this camera now, then?
Ah, General, yes. What, of course, I meant to say was my training was excellent, and I immediately reached for my camera. only to realize it must have been torn from my utility belt in the crash and lost forever in that forgotten jungle.
So it's still there. If you want to send a team to retrieve it. It's kind of like Little Big Planet. I haven't played that niftiness. Just with more expansive backgrounds. Is that like an action platformer? Wait, but how do No, I didn't think I'd make that. I guess that's just with the angle.
Horrendous beast had returned and was hungrier than ever.
Perhaps it was angry. It had been fooled by an egg-wearing idiot.
That is unkind, General. It may have been small of brain, but it was grand of stature.
Whereas you, Ivan Ivanovich, are lacking in both departments. Presuming there were no more eggs to hide in,
Did you have a new plan?
I did, General.
It didn't have custom levels in the PC
Please.
version.
Do tell me, what was this brilliant plan?
To run?
I ran like hell, General.
Yes. Oh man. Oh no, no, no. Oh. Oh god, this is epic. Oh, the latest, like, re-release didn't have I always confuse that with, what's it, Little Big Adventure? Is that what it was called?
Will our intrepid yet doomed hero survive the jaws of the ferocious dinosaur? Will he meet his end, miles underground as an aperitif for a ravenous raptor? What dark secrets could be buried in the lost city of Agatha? Will the general ever discover the location of his lost bomb? All of these questions and more will be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Ooh, boy. An episodic game. Oh, wait. Little Big Adventures that made this Little Big Planet game. No. It's Twinson's Little Big Adventure. Isn't that? Am I thinking? I'm confusing two things. I think it was from the 90s. Lost Recordings mode is now available. Revisit Ivan's adventures and discover the new orbs scattered throughout to unlock exclusive behind-the-scenes content and hilarious outfits. Is he a dog? I'm sorry, I forgot. Don't ask questions. The Enslaving of the Menkf.
What luck! What a miracle! One moment I was rushing into the fetid tonsils of that horrible monster. The next, I was plummeting downwards to the jungle floor beyond its reach. I prayed I would land on something soft.
Perhaps your head.
But nothing could have prepared me for what was about to unfold. An epic saga of pride, power, and revolution. A struggle for freedom, the likes of which our world has never seen. And it happened like this.
Who said? Oh, Sackboy's A Big Adventure. This is the latest Little Big Planet game. Just multiplayer, but no building mechanics. Oh. Oh, he's inside the snowball or ice, whatever. What is the Menkf? And what the hell was that? Was it in the foreground or was it really large?
Who were those strange, gentle monsters who towered above me? I could only guess they were the lost tribe of the Menkf, an earlier race of people. But why were they so fearful of those ancient gates that lay just beyond their village? And why did they seem to recognize me? Why?
Yes, I'm also wondering why.
No, a как же, General? Who was I to question such things? Trapped as I was deep underground. I was more curious, I must admit, about the location of Little Orpheus.
You talk of a great city, a mighty power. Yet your Menkf squatted like savages in huts at its boundary.
They did. And the answer to that mystery lay beyond my grasp at that point. Because it was a wonder, it truly was.
Marbles. Should do something with the marble.
The lost city of Agartha. I hope I may one day see it myself.
Oh, General, if only you could. Unfortunately, as I shall explain, should you seek Agartha now, you wouldn't find it. It has been utterly destroyed.
Did I do that?
Utterly destroyed?
Utterly, General, a tragic loss.
A convenient loss.
I imagine archaeologists weeping as I tell you. But most importantly, before we continue, you must understand one crucial fact about its destruction.
Which is?
It wasn't my fault.
Nothing is ever Ivan Ivanovich's fault. Ooh. Oh, they're in cages. I like that scene where you meet Buddy in Out of This World. Friendly, don't attack me. Friend?
those poor, unfortunate Menkf, trapped and kidnapped and dragged away, only to return as vicious foot soldiers to some unknown tyrant. And yet, there was something familiar about the shtukovna they were forced to wear on their heads, which I was sure were being used to control and enslave them.
And what was that?
General, it curiously resembled the radio sets I used to tinker with as a child.
Radio sets?
It was very curious.
It was very curious.
It was extremely curious.
Some sort of mind control by radio. What's that up? Oh, a switch? Hey, Zatara, welcome in. How are you doing tonight? It's going well, thanks. It's quite a fun game. And setup in the background looks like something Niftiness might build. Running and hiding. Some of that in rain too, didn't we? And limbo. Yes. The Menkf wearing those mind control devices, radio sets. Oh, I just meant you could build like that giant, like set of rails, the giant marble rolled down, doing storyboarding and charting maps, Zatara. Sounds like a long process. Make it very clear when the light's going to hit you.
An ancient technological metropolis, powered by a glowing resin, carved from the very earth?
A glowing resin carved from the very earth. Do you see, General?
I fear you are about to enlighten me.
Little Orpheus must have been drained by the impact, but whoever had stolen it and brought it here was no doubt planning to use the Agarthan resin to charge up the atomic bomb, restoring the device to its full potential. What sort of man would come up with such a monstrously reckless scheme?
Perhaps the type of man who has such limited understanding of atomic energy that he thinks an ancient metropolis can be powered by shiny marbles.
If man indeed it was. Oh, my life. No, come back. I need to climb you. Glad I chose this game. I appreciate games with extremely good comic writing. Which is why I like Telltale games so much. It's got a Neverland map, but with the names changed. Like, did I die? Oh no, I'm alive. Mermaid's Cove becomes hydrotherapy. That sounds fun. You wait to see what the game's going to do next. What was that? It was a marble. Oh no. Oh. So Wendy told everybody where she went. Her parents didn't believe her. It's kind of a fantastical tale. She was abducted by Jack the Ripper. We did make it. Can I climb that? Or down. Yeah. It's right there. Be better at remembering to slide. Oh, couldn't tell. Were all those pterosaurs, or was the first one a bird? One was carrying something. Pterodactyls. Town sending a series of hills, but half is flooded. Oh, cutscene. Less fearful of dying once the cutscene begins.
I am curious, Ivan Ivanovich. You talk and talk about this great subterranean city. Yet what you describe sounds strangely familiar. It does in some way bear an uncanny resemblance to the glorious architecture of Comrade Alexei Dushkin. Wouldn't you agree?
Нет, General. I have never heard of this great Tovarish Dushkin or his works.
Interesting. Because you were photographed on the steps of his marvelous Vysoka na Krasnich Varotach, shaking hands with the Glavny Constructor.
That was the chief designer? The sweaty little fat man with the bad hearing?
Mind your mouth, Ivan Ivanovich.
Yes, Russian journeys.
By slandering one of the great visionaries of our time. Without him, neither of us would be sitting here now.
Must remember to thank him for that, General.
Especially little man with the bad hearing. Oh. Yes, Russian journey to the center of the earth. Russian land of the lost. So I gotta turn it and then start running. And there's some kind of posts. No, you don't. Oh, a little like the elevators from Half-Life. Ace the marble. Oh,
Those enslaved men were trying to stop me. I was sure of that now.
I find myself sympathizing with them, I must admit.
No, General, then I have failed to win you over.
Uh-huh. A point of agreement at last.
Get the marble into the cage. Yeah. There's a... Unless... Just somehow blocking the marble? Ah, there it goes. Marble rolling. Oh, maybe. Uh-oh. At least it's a moving shield. Oh, hurry, 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 hurry.
I must ask again, General. Are you mocking me?
That would be unprofessional, comrade.
I will try harder to convince you then. It is, after all, a cautionary tale of unleashed tyranny.
It is a cautionary tale of unleashed idiocy. But please, do continue.
General's not very nice. They're after me. Oh no. My god, it's a freeze ray. I was wondering what would happen if they caught me. Part of me was like, I can make it through here without dying once. I can't keep jumping too often when there's something directly in front of me. This is the end of the episode. No. I made it.
I stepped from the cable car onto a plateau at the center of the city, where a palace, a vast acropolis, stood. I was reminded of Chelyabinsk Sorok.
May I ask how you know of Chelyabinsk Sorok?
What was it?
My Aunt Masha was a traveling tinker who married a beef investigator from Zlatoust. She told me of a secret but wonderful city in the west. An edifice of sheer power, humbly serving the will and needs of the people.
Yes, unfortunately, that story didn't end so well.
No. That's what Auntie Marcia told me. And perhaps that is why I was also reminded of it. Because the moment I touched the floor in that place, I could tell something was very, very wrong. Began to shake, alarming me, and the whole city felt as if it was shuddering. I could only imagine what I would find in the heart of the vast temple.
If it isn't a giant glowing marble, I'm going to be very disappointed.
The biggest glowing marble.
A huge resin sphere that overshadowed all of the others. I caught glimpses through the twisted architecture. And it was then I saw him.
Him?
The thief, the enslaver, the tyrant, sucking the power from this wondrous city as he drained the very lifeblood of the ancient civilization and drew it into the atomic embrace of Little Orpheus. With a song in my heart, I raced onwards to stop him.
Evil pterodactyl. Where am I? Oh, there I am. There, I'm in the water. Can't run. It's not. Oh, up there. Still at the bars. Back here, yes, there's a glowing patch. Oh, that was one. It's just not activated. They're all distracted now. I can climb up there.
Drained of its power, the magical heart of the city cracked, and it sent shockwaves through the world around me. A true monster, General, willing to bring down the mountain itself upon Agartha and bury it forever in his ruthless scheme. I could not save that wondrous place, General, to my shame and regret. But I resolved myself to avenge the Menkf, to recapture Little Orpheus, and to bring that tyrant to justice.
Oh. Getting some Raiders of the Lost Ark vibes here. What are you thinking? Is there going to be another cliffhanger?
Will our plucky yet careless
Yes.
hero fall forever through those unknown skies? Will he discover the identity of the brutal thief commanding the army of the Menkf? What chance does he have of ever returning to his beloved homeland? How long can the general's patience last? All of these questions and more will definitely be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Will they really be answered? Ooh. When we beat the entire game, we will watch the credits, don't worry. Of whales and worms.
I plummeted down through that weird sky towards a great turbulent ocean that roared and swelled. A ferocious sea that offered no hope of survival. I thought of home and wept, unaware that in an instant my fortunes would be changed by an event so bizarre I almost hesitate to tell you. And it happened like this.
Here's episode 1. Episode 3. Episode 2. Of whales and worms.
A giant whale?
It was huge, General.
You were swallowed by a giant whale.
Yes, General.
You look remarkably well for a man who was swallowed
by a whale.
I am blessed with a strong constitution, General.
Yeah. Right. Didn't spend that long in there. Jonah spent longer. Oozy woozy groves.
And I assume you are now going to tell me how you managed to escape from the belly of this giant whale.
Naturally, General. And I must say, it really was a fascinating glimpse into the interior life of one of our world's most magnificent beasts. I consider myself a wiser man after this experience.
Good thing there was a dock there.
It was an extraordinary place, General. I could perhaps deliver a lecture on the subject to Moscow University's Zoological Society, if you like. I only want to help.
The Moscow University Zoological Society has, I suspect, better things to do than listen to the ramblings of a man who claims he was swallowed by a whale.
I'm sure the students will enjoy it.
It is a shame, General. People can be so closed-minded.
I, on the other hand, have little choice but to hear you out. For your own sake, Ivan Ivanovich, I must urge you to be brief.
Absolutely, General. I will tell you directly of my miraculous escape from the belly of the whale. You simply won't believe what happened next.
That is becoming a dangerously overused phrase, comrade.
Especially if I don't escape. The raising and lowering water or stomach acid or whatever levels.
And so I found myself deep within the whale's
Winter
organs.
games.
A strangely beautiful place. A sort of fleshy wonderland. A glade of polyps and globules. A landscape as awe-inspiring in its way as the forests and mountains of Altai. Oh, my home, General, that I yearned and longed for, and only hoped, as I hope now, that I might one day see again.
I think we're all longing for home at this point.
Oh, with warm slippers, a mug of steaming Spitsin, and a roaring fire. Not far from home, trapped inside a monstrous fish, with only the strange and evil-looking worms that infested its gut for company. With only one's dedication to one's country and mission to keep one from falling into despair. But no, General, I could not. I had to escape, to find Little Orpheus and my way back to the surface and home.
Oh, is that? Yeah, it's a boat in the background, or a ship. Very nice of somebody to keep the lanterns lit inside the whale. Maybe here. Am I surviving that stuff?
Worms, you say, living inside the whale.
Oh, they were horrid things, those worms, General. And most unwelcome, I would say. Parasites. No idea just how rampant their infestation was, nor of the tremendous sizes they could grow to. At that point, my thoughts were only of escape. And I had a plan.
Yes, I'm sure you did.
So we're helping the whale by removing these parasites. They're causing these horrible blockages inside it. I don't think they're going to like that. Circular mouths of teeth. And that ballerina from Cabin in the Woods. Uh-oh. A spewer. Streamer streaming game on stream. Streamer, I'm afraid. Streamer, you must pause my stream. Streamer got a raid. Here's a raider leading raiders. Welcome raider, welcome raiders. Are the raiders alligators? Raider, raider, grackle. Welcome in. Amber Generation. Thank you so much for the raid. How are you doing? And what were you playing? You guys, please go check out Amber Generation. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Purblind Gamer. I'm a legally blind retro and variety streamer who plays a mixture of action games and adventure games and a lot of horror games. And we're doing this thing where we play cinematic platformers all through September. We call it Cinematic Platformer September. And tonight we're playing Little Orpheus, which is a wonderful sort of sci-fi comedy game. It's as though Land of the Lost were being retold by a Soviet fearful for his life in the 1960s. Oh, you guys are playing Sam & Max Save the World. I love those Sam & Max games. I played that one a couple years ago. Seriously good writing. So if you like that, I imagine you'll enjoy the writing in Little Orpheus too. Is anyone Captain Thaco? Thank you for inviting the raid here. And Pirate Jet 21, welcome in. Oh, great to have you guys here. Have you been enjoying Sam & Max Amber Generation? Oh yeah, we're inside a giant whale, and there are these parasitic worms that are trying to kill us. Because, I don't know, they're evil. They're anti-socialist worms. Oh, you beat it! Congratulations. Oh, nice. Ah. That iris. No, I actually just played Sam & Max Season 2 a couple of months ago, and I found it every bit as good as the first one. And have you played Sam & Max Hit the Road, too? Clear this worm out. And that's how deworming works. Oh yeah, it's a good one. It's quite good too. Oops. They all had such great writing. And we play a lot of adventure games. Oh. And we're back to the vine swing. Hopefully there's no Tyrannosaurus Rex trying to eat us this time.
These worms, they made your Nivirayatni whale sick.
Wherever they attached themselves, the flesh began to turn gray and die. It was a truly distressing sight. I resolved myself to assist the whale by removing the leeches wherever I could find them during my escape.
And also I resolved to escape. Oh, of course. Yes, do whatever you have to do after stream. But thank you for the raid, Amber Generation, and have a good dinner. Go back and forth.
In my mind, it was a simple plan, General. I would climb up through the whale's throat into its mouth, then wait until it opened it to feed and swim out.
Ah, yes. Brilliant, Ivan Ivanovich. Only one or two minor flaws with it. For example, did it not occur to you that the whale will likely be deep underwater when it ate?
Вы правы, General, but I am a strong swimmer. As a child, my parents would take us to holiday near Irkutsk, where we took constitutionals in the waters of Lake Baikal. In fact, my mother often called me her маленький морской котик.
Also. Daddy Leech.
A giant worm for a giant whale, huh?
At the risk of repeating myself, it was huge, General.
The Moscow University Zoological Society may be interested after all.
Yeah. What does it pay for a guest lecture, General?
Let us take a moment, Ivan Ivanovich. Your ridiculous plan to escape through the mouth of the whale failing, you would now have me believe you had embarked on some misguided crusade to free it of the worm infestation. To what end, exactly?
When one suffers, we all suffer, General.
What's that inside the whale? I'm starting to think this game, or this story within the game, might be communist propaganda.
Your ideological commitment is admirable, comrade, but...
I concluded that if I could find the root of the infestation and neutralize it, the whale could mount a spirited counterattack against the worms.
Oh. Yep. The worm train's coming through. Yeah. Does not look amazing. They have such a completely different look for each episode. Wow, the effort they put into this is truly admirable. Yeah, there I am.
And then, victorious, the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I've ever heard.
General, we are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. Expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
cutscene from, I think it was the first Kirby game, where you randomly landed in a whale's spiracle and got shot to the next stage. Yeah, that was the thing that happened. Forgot about fall damage. Oh.
And then, victorious, the whale would surface to expel the remaining poisonous muck and slime from its body. And at that point, I could escape through the nearest convenient orifice. In this case, most likely the blowhole.
That is the most revolting thing I have ever heard.
Henry, we are Russians. We have withstood the sheer force of nature and history and emerged triumphant. An expedition through the nasal sphincter of a gargantuan whale is nothing to us.
Is that in the background? Oh.
I suppose you would have me believe that the whale was grateful to.
Well, General, that would be presumptuous. I doubt it was even aware of my presence. But I had more immediate problems. For if the whale might have been relieved by my actions, the worms were enraged.
Worms do
Furious.
Worms
Incandescent.
do not feel
Violently indignant.
emotion.
Demented, General. Deranged.
Enough!
Highly emotional worms. Do they feel arrogant sometimes?
Where is Little Orpheus? Where is my bomb? Unless you are trying to tell me the whale smoked that as well.
No, it did not, General. That would be absurd.
No, Ivan Ivanovich, you are absurd. Your story is absurd. This whole ridiculous fairy tale is absurd.
No, no. Well, getting chased by a boss from ghouls and ghosts. Tell me that doesn't look like a slug from level 4. Escape! Worms can't swim, right, chat? But leeches can.
Will our brave yet foolhardy hero escape the furious worm? Will he be doomed to spend his days trapped in the innards of a bad-tempered cetacean? Where is the whale swimming to in such a rush? And what will it do when it gets there? Is the general about to lose his temper and order the cosmonaut shot? All of these questions and more must surely be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Actually, you should watch the credits. What if they have different credits or something humorous in the credits for each episode? The Tremors spin-off we didn't know we needed. London. Okay. Oops. On to next episode. The Battle of Sanikovland. The worm as a crown. It's
Flew
the
from the
king worm.
whale's blowhole like a supersonic jet. And below me, the ocean became a sheltered bay studded with wild shapes. You will be amazed as my epic journey unfolds. For here, it was about to take a most unexpected turn. And it happened like this.
Oh my gosh. Oh. This must be the snowball episode. Isn't there a giant clock in the intro of the 39 Steps, too? Oh, whale swam pretty far north.
It was a beautiful but deadly wasteland. Freezing cold, brutally chilly. Enough to kill a man in hours.
Yet here you are.
Indeed, General. An impoverished childhood playing in the streets of Omsk during those bitter winters had made me hardy.
I thought you said you grew up in Altai.
Ah, it was a
Misstep.
beautiful but deadly wasteland. Freezing cold, brutally chilly.
With the narration
Enough to
causes
kill
the
a
quick
man
time
in
event.
hours.
Yet here you are.
Indeed, General. An impoverished childhood playing in the streets of Omsk during those bitter winters had made me hardy.
I thought you said you grew up in Altai.
All right.
General, the life of a poor toy maker's family. We had to move from place to place just to find work.
I need a pet walrus. Ooh, those tusks do look kind of sharp. Glad I'm able to climb up. Good thing ice isn't slippery. Oh. Hey, don't get pushy. Break the ice and float across on the block? Or I can't swim, right, chat? God, they're gigantic. Actually, this game doesn't have puzzles that are too difficult. Like it's after a minute, it's pretty easy what it wants you to do. Or pretty obvious, I should say. Walrus flipping. Classic carnival game. Oh, I was not supposed to do that. Go back. Oop, oop. Probably cold. Oh well. Didn't expect to save again so soon. Ah. Well, the walri are playing seesaw and crushing me alive. Cannot climb on a walrus. So they're spotted too, aren't they? The music's great, isn't it?
Sonikov land, eh? Of course, Sonikov himself reported nothing more than a bluish fog on the horizon. Your island may be nothing more.
Oh no, did we encounter a bug, chat? Looks like we did. We're gonna have to restart the chapter. Okay, there we go.
Sonikov land, eh? Of course, Sonikov himself reported nothing more than a bluish fog on the horizon. Your island may be nothing more than the product of overactive imaginations.
General,
Who's
consider
I?
this. Imagine taking a simple peasant, a pig shepherd, for example, and telling him one day humans would fly around the earth beyond the sky. He would say you were stark raving mad, Saldaphone, a ridiculous Kozyol Baradati, a buffoon stuffed into a military uniform, a pridurak, a chuchela tuparile.
This peasant of yours had better watch his mouth if he doesn't want to spend his holidays in Solovyetsky. Perhaps you should return to your store.
Oh, yeah. Are we still supposed to be trying to find that savage pterodactyl that's draining the giant orb in the lost city to charge the atomic bomb?
There in the cliff, I could not believe it. A hairy elephant, trapped and frozen in the ice.
A mammoth.
No, General, a hairy elephant. Who would think such a thing could be?
Evidently there are still some holes in those fine Soviet schools and their curriculum. I didn't really see the mammoth. I think maybe that was always in the background. It's out of focus. The whole place is falling to bits. Open. Now I'm getting shitty chat. Let me close the video. This one's got control on board.
I trudged onwards through the blizzard, one foot grimly in front of the other, blinded by the snow.
Like Santa
My
Claus is
nose
coming to
becoming
town.
quite blue. My thoughts of home crushed under the weight of the plummeting temperature.
I am bored, Ivan Ivanovich, and sick to my teeth of listening to this rubbish. Let us speak plainly now. You will tell me where my bomb is, or I will have you shot.
I am just getting to that, General.
Shot! Comrade Privalov! Shot with real bullets. Fired from a real gun, not some ludicrous Bultavia about lost cities and dinosaurs and Menkf and mammoth.
It was a hairy elephant.
No! I will not tolerate any more! Where is the bomb, Ivan Ivanovich? Where is Little Orpheus?
It was right there.
What?
It was there. At least I realized it must be.
Where?
There?
On Sonic Land?
Yes, General. Because as the storm began to clear, I realized with a strange excitement and trepidation that I was not alone on Sonic Land.
Very fortunate coincidence. The whale and the pterodactyl are both heading north. I anticipate something to drag.
Wait. Go back. You say these lifeboats came from Zarya? A Russian ship?
Zarya returned home, but not with all of her crew. And here were the missing lifeboats, trapped in the ice for all of these years. And it could only mean one thing.
That you are continuing to hang lapsha on my ears.
Oh. He laughs after each successful quick time event. Giant icy
Baron
cave.
Edward von Toll. Of course, I remember reading about this tragic expedition at school. We were taught he had died a hero's death out on the icy wastes, searching for Sannikov land. Yet, what if, in doing so, he had sailed accidentally into the interior, deep below the crust of the world? A fellow citizen of the surface. I had to try and find him.
So I'm wondering if, how much of this they made up and how much of this incorporating from other fictitious works and how much is incorporates history. Oh no.
A dead explorer stole my box.
Not dead, General, but quite insane. Perhaps it was the loss of the arm or the leg, or the long years in isolation. But Toll was clearly mad.
You should have got along perfectly then.
How I wish we had. But no, General. Whatever Toll's intention with Little Orpheus was, I had no time to consider it. I was in mortal peril once more.
Yeah, with Kate dropping down as an embellishment. I'm guessing there are a lot of embellishments here. And I don't know. Maybe Ivan Ivanovich played Soul Calibur 3 on the GameCube in his younger days. I wouldn't know. Oh yeah, this looks stable. Oh, good. If you press the wrong button but then the right button, the game's like, I'll allow it. We're not marketing this to the hardcore market. Hardcore demographic.
So, you believe that Toll had somehow enslaved the Menkf and bent them to his will?
I do, General. It was obvious. Why else would they serve him? And how else could they be so different from their freed comrades? These odd helmets they wore, it was the science of our times. No doubt about it. Although fused with some strange crystal technology I could not recognize. To be honest with you, it didn't seem appropriate to stop and ask them.
Didn't speak the language of the free ones we saw at the entrance to the city. This does make me think slightly of rain. No. Oh, looks like I should be able to jump over it. Huh.
This Toll, you said
say he was an explorer?
Yes, General, he was. He vanished some 60 years ago. I remember the story well.
And you say he stole Little Orpheus?
To get home, General, to get home.
The perspective can be deceptive.
This stone. You say he was an explorer?
Yes, General, he was. He vanished some 60 years ago. I remember the story well.
And you say he stole Little Orpheus?
To get home, General, to get home. I think he must have thought he could use the atomic bomb to blast his way back to the surface.
Brilliant, Ivan Ivanovich! And you expect me to believe that a 100-year-old madman not only survived below the Earth's crust, but enslaved his Menkf, explored the lost worlds, and discovered the secrets of atomic power, all by himself?
A Tsarist general. An imperialist. No doubt harking back to the terrible days before the Great Revolution. And Estonian.
Estonian?
Estonian general.
They are wily people.
Getting up there. You say the Estonians are a wily people. Wait, can I climb that? Yes.
The slave mines stretched away into the distance. And I sometimes wondered if I would ever find my way out. But I never gave up, General.
Of course you did. You are a hero, Ivan Ivanovich.
No, General. No. I am no hero.
Are those
I am a
mammoth
simple
tusks?
toymaker's son from Tomsk.
Omsk.
General?
Omsk. You said Tomsk.
I said Omsk.
You said Tomsk.
General, I think I am well aware of the city of my birth.
Perhaps all the moving around as a child confused
Well, to be fair, Russians could have come up with more varied names for their cities. I didn't stop them. Oh. That. And now I clearly see the beam of light. A freeze sight. Ooh, that is too high. Can't hide behind that barrel. Wait, can this be pushed? Yeah. Can I push that crate or whatever it is? It's down here though. Ah. Oh, this must be what they intend. Oh, here's the scene from the intro, chat. You can jump.
On we flew across the deserted, frozen plateau. I was single-handed in my pursuit, dogged in my determination.
Only the snowball and snowball run were this easy to control.
I would take back Little Orpheus and prevent Toll from detonating the bomb.
Ah, you are as humble as ever, Tovarish.
On we flew across the deserted, frozen plateau. I was single-handed in my pursuit, dogged in my determination. I would take back Little Orpheus and prevent Toll from detonating the bomb.
Ah, you are as humble as ever, Tovarish.
Well, General, you are a great military leader, a great strategist, whereas I am simply the humble son of a watch toy maker, and driven by patriotic fever, with no regard for my own safety. I rushed blindly on. Well, General, you are a great military leader, a great strategist, whereas I am simply the humble son of a watch toy maker, and driven by patriotic fever, with no regard for my own safety. I rushed blindly on.
He's rushing blindly. How can he see when to jump in front of things? Almost caught him, chat. Oops. Oh, scripted. Walrus looks mildly stunned. There he goes. Good thing snow is soft. Ice, less so. Wait for it.
Will our courageous yet unfortunate hero drown in the depths of an inhospitable frozen sea? Will he thaw out in time to prevent Toll from detonating the bomb? Will the general holiday in Omsk next year? Or Tomsk? Or perhaps both? What exactly is the difference between a mammoth and a hairy elephant? All of these questions and more should almost certainly be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Almost certainly. Oh boy. Beneath the waves of Molyobka. And I'm sure my Russian pronunciation is
I thought I was doomed. But a miraculous thing happened, General. I could breathe. It must have been the helmet that was jammed onto my head. It was a strange and remarkable thing.
Some might almost say beyond belief.
A narrow-minded fool may indeed, General, but of course you are no Durak. But even as I sank towards the floor of that lost ocean, my journey was about to take me to darker, stranger territory than ever before. And it happened like this.
What are we going to meet next? A rocket? A giant hand? The clock? Okay. So we can't swim, but we can jump incredibly high. I love the cliffhangers every episode.
Let me see if I have this correctly. After narrowly failing to apprehend the mad missing explorer Toll and recapture my atomic bomb in your giant snowball, you fell through thin ice and sank to the bottom of a subterranean ocean, discovering along the way that the mind control helmet you had accidentally wedged onto your head enabled you to breathe underwater and resume your pursuit across the seabed.
And didn't control my mind. The answer to your question, General, is you had that completely right. Oh, boy.
General, you seem perplexed.
Perplexed? Perplexed is that the keys to my house are not where I left them. Perplexed is the fact my dog will not eat cheese like other dogs. No, Ivan Ivanovich, I am not perplexed.
Are you supposed to feed dogs cheese, chat? I mean, if a video game said it. Only thing more trustworthy than a video game is an internet forum. It's definitely a wall. Oh, maybe we can creep through here. Between the electricity. Yes.
Intrigued then, perhaps?
I'm not sure intrigued is the correct term either. Enraged at being taken for a simpleton. Now that, perhaps, is a better way of describing my current state of mind.
General, after falling through thin ice, I now feel that I am once more standing on thin ice. Giant seahorse. Also,
That is
what was
unfortunate,
that?
General.
Once again, Comrade Privalov, I must correct you. Unfortunate is losing one's car in a snowstorm. Unfortunate is booking opera tickets on your wife's birthday and getting the date wrong.
Was she furious?
That is not the issue!
Furious. However, now that is a good word.
I could speak with your wife. Would that help? I could always have a word with her if you like.
I could always have you shot.
You could,
Going back to execution.
but I suspect she would appreciate the gesture less.
Warp. Now I know how a panther in a pitcher of lemonade feels. Harkening back to like my 5th official stream, or whatever it was. this?
A kraken.
Oh.
A vast monster of the sea. A giant, humongous, many-armed electrical destroyer of ships and cities.
Electrical?
Electricity flowed along its horrible body, sparking and stunning all it touched, flowing like deadly rivers along its awful tentacles.
In the years before I began distilling rum. Jumping for so much the game makes the high jump that much more fun.
Are you suggesting that the vessel simply wandered off course and sank here? That seems unlikely even by your standards.
No, General, I only wish that were true. The mighty ship showed terrible scars. Signs of having been grappled and torn asunder by some huge and terrible adversary.
That is indeed strange and curious. I am troubled by this discovery.
Might you almost be perplexed, perhaps?
Don't push your luck.
So is that, is his name Toll? His ship? Yeah, wait. I thought... Or did he die? Some of the lifeboats from his ship, but the ship itself returned. Can I interact with this? Yeah. Won't this kill me? Yeah. Okay, I think somewhere there in the background. Yeah. Here's a safe spot. Not many fish this deep. Oh, it is. It's a giant clam. Only one bubble in there. Can I shut it off with this? The electricity
I was stationed at Sydney Ostrov some years ago. I am only too aware of how easy it is for the imagination to create monsters when one is exposed to lonely and dark places. My men required constant monitoring.
Much like my cousin Pavel.
He was also stationed at Ostrov?
No, he required constant monitoring. He was a devil for stealing eggs.
Wait. Just reminded me of something which I know it's not a reference to, but that's weird.
I was referring to the fear that something is lurking in the darkness. Something strange, brutish, and ill-intentioned.
Again, that sounds much like my cousin Pavel.
Can't do small jumps.
I was referring to the fear that something is lurking in the darkness. Something strange, brutish, and ill-intentioned.
Again, that sounds much like my cousin
Turn this
Pavel.
around, chat, because there's no electrical plants on that side. Yeah. Sing to the shelled ones, they will heal your wounds. Oh, jellyfish. So gorgeous. And probably deadly. Oh God, we're gonna have to climb the jellyfish, chat. No. The game's not quite that cruel. No. This game is actually quite reasonable.
I was being hunted. There was no doubt about it. And escape was all I could think about.
Naturally.
That and duty.
Duty?
Yes, General.
the Kraken?
After all, I had a bomb to recover from that villain Toll.
How clever of you to remember that.
I don't see a sign of a kraken hunting us. Seems like something out of Earthworm Jim. Leviathan stalking me through the aquatic depths. Are those barnacles?
But first, there was the issue of escape. Escape from a dreadful, grasping creature that consumed all it could reach, dragging anything that wandered.
Didn't even
But
notice that
first,
sparking.
there was the issue of escape. Escape from a dreadful, grasping creature that consumed all it could reach, dragging anything that wandered within its clutches to a miserable doom. A hoarder of useless trophies and
Number of useless trophies. I'm sorry,
But
are
first,
we going to run
there
into
was the
aerial
issue
chat?
of escape. Escape from a dreadful, grasping creature that consumed all it could reach, dragging anything that wandered within its clutches to a miserable doom. A hoarder of useless.
I think we can drag. It's buried in the sand, whatever that is. It's as far back as we can go. Oh, starfish.
But first, there was the issue of escape. Escape from a dreadful, grasping creature that consumed all it could reach, dragging anything that wandered within its clutches to a miserable doom. A hoarder of useless trophies and stolen goods.
Once again, Tovarish, I suspect you are pursuing a somewhat tortuous metaphor for capitalism, in the misguided hope of appealing to my political ideals.
I was wondering about that. It's a giant. There's some kind of shell. Let's keep it like. We'll take something normal, and then we'll make it big for this game. Like, y'all played a lot of Resident Evil, didn't you?
I was like a mouse, General. A little mouse being toyed with by a terrible cat.
A rather wet mouse,
I was like a little underwater mouse.
being stalked by a giant rubbery electrical cat with 8 tentacles.
Exactly, General.
Good, I'm glad we cleared that. You may continue.
Oh my gosh. In the background, a little underwater mouse being stalked by a giant rubbery electrical cat with 8 tentacles. Is that its eyeball chat? Well, can't reach me in here. As Tom couldn't get in the mouse hole. Grab onto there. If we can get the
Submarines.
Kraken to hit one of those mines.
You didn't mention submarines before.
Didn't I? Why? No, Navernia, General. Of course, submarines. Millions of them. Well, several, at least.
Oh, those aren't mines. Those are Old
Any
Soviet submarines?
particular submarines? Did you see names? Numbers?
General, have you lost the submarine?
I am not at liberty to answer that question, as you well know.
Well, General, losing one's car in a snowstorm is unfortunate, as you say. But to lose a whole submarine, that could be considered careless.
So, Ivan Ivanovich doesn't always know when to stop talking, does he, chat? Now that you mention it, General.
And you are certain it was M. the Veshchi 56?
Well, that was painted on the hull, so I can only assume so.
I think I know where this dismal story is going next. You somehow miraculously brought the remaining closed cycle engine online, flooded the torpedo tubes, dispatched the Kraken with one shot, and triumphantly surfaced.
No, General, that is not what happened at all. I did indeed make my way to the torpedo tubes, but for a very different purpose. After all, history has taught us that atomic power is not to be toyed with.
Much like tired, impatient generals, perhaps. Particularly the perplexed ones.
Indeed, General. Or like dogs that will eat no cheese.
Stay underwater. No. Hope we don't need that again. Oh. Back to normal physics. Perhaps the submarine was more flooded than I realized. Wait. Wheel. Yes, maybe? Yes. Lever. Yes, alert the Kraken to your presence, Ivan. Go check out the shadows. I'm supposed to slide under that pipe. Really strangely shaped eye. Well, perhaps that's what octopus eyes are like. Its eyes again. I'm in the torpedo. Oh, that's what we saw in the intro. Now it makes sense.
Will our determined yet disorientated hero end his days as socialist sushi? Will his daring exploits be cut tragically short by vengeful calamari? Will the general's wife ever forgive him for missing Ruslan and Lyudmila? And just how many eggs did Pavel steal, and where did he keep them? All of these questions and more may or may not be answered in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Well, at least now they acknowledge it. Oh boy.
I was alive, General. Somehow, miraculously, I was alive. Some twist of fate, some hand of destiny, but I was alive. Strange as this new world was,
The other side
I
of the
knew
world.
Toll must have come this way, and it was my task to find him. And it happened like this.
The bells of Lemuria.
The sun beat down on me relentlessly. The heat was unbearable. I was exhausted. Yet I could not stop. I had to go on. For 7 weeks I trudged across the desert. On the second day...
Please, comrade, if we may. I think we can skip the details, unless you consider them to be particularly relevant to the location of Little Orpheus.
Of course, General. We will simply omit the tale of the singing chasm, the oasis of mirrors, the sightings of Toll's Menkf aloft on their pterodactyls carrying parts of my crashed rocket drill over the horizon to Lemuria.
Wait, the what?
Singing chasm?
Not that bit. The rocket drill.
Oh yes, General, the rocket drill. But what did Toll want with it? And why Lemuria?
Lemuria?
Lemuria, General.
I am not familiar with this Lemuria, comrade.
Well, that is because it does not exist, General. Or at least, so I thought.
The way the dunes shimmer. No jumping here. Sandworm? Mystical sound waves. Are those blocks floating?
Those strange crystals seem to exert an extraordinary hold over the stone blocks and arches. When they hummed, the whole city remade itself. Where they were missing, clearly looted by some villainous thief, the city was fallen to ruin. It was like a vast musical instrument, vandalized, and yet still attempting to toot.
What's that noise? What will be attacking us in this strange location? Terribly noisy.
How poetic. I'm sure our engineers would be fascinated and baffled in equal measure. If the whole department hadn't been arrested for sedition last week, I would happily convey it to their skeptical ears.
Sedition, General? Really?
How poetic. I'm sure our engineers would be fascinated
Saying
and
the
baffled in
sedition was
equal measure.
poetic.
If the whole department hadn't been arrested for sedition last week, I would happily convey it to their skeptical ears.
Sedition, General? Really? It is unfortunate news indeed.
I am joking, comrade.
Of course, General. Of course you're joking. Eagle's pterodactyl. He got me. Over the rock. It's a bell. Aha. Drive this way. They just accept that naturally.
Oh yes, the Menkf were here, all right. Which
Menkf.
meant whatever dastardly scheme Toll had, it was to be enacted on these burning sands. What you need to know first is this. I have told you already how parts of the devices the enslaved Menkf were forced to wear came from the surface.
Radio parts and so on, yes, from what you have told me. Assuming there were plenty of lost ships in the ocean as you claim, for Toll to have dredged up what he needed to assemble them.
Aha, good. You are one step ahead of me, General.
I said assuming.
Of course, assuming. Now, as I gazed in awe at the buildings rising and falling around me, I realized that the other major component of those mind-controlling helmets was crystal. Toll had raided Lemuria for it. He knew the city. He knew the crystals could amplify
It's all coming
vibrations and
together.
waves, and was using them to boost the signal of the radio parts to exert his control over the Menkf. Which meant...
Yes?
Imagine, General, what such amplification could achieve when fused to the finest atomic science our great Soviet civilization has produced.
Wait. I do not understand. You said Toll was planning on using the bomb to shatter the Earth's crust to return to the surface.
That's right.
Tragic mistake, General. He had not recognized the extent of his mad ambitions.
You mean to imply Toll would have attempted to enslave the Russian people? Pah! The will of the Soviet citizen is mighty and strong.
To you, perhaps, as a trained warrior, but consider, perhaps instead, a humble son of a toy maker from Tom's.
Ah, yes. Perhaps we have our share of sympathies, after all.
Besides, this is a Tsarist general we're talking about. He would have underestimated the Soviet people. He would have thought they would be as easy to control as they were in the old imperial days. know what that did, Chad. Moving platform. That's what it did. And higher than his line of vision. Yes. Oh dear.
The vast pictograms told of a history of wonders. They seem to suggest the Lemurians were travelers from another world, where a mysterious clock seemed to stand.
That is very mysterious. As mysterious as the location of Little Orpheus, perhaps.
Ah, yes, of course, General. I am just getting to that.
Did that? No, that was them. This one, maybe? This one first. Yes.
As I bravely explored that ancient city, a question was gnawing at my mind. What did it mean that the Lemurians had foreseen the coming of Tol? And who was the man from above that was celebrated as the savior of the Menkf? It was almost as if they could read the future in their crystals.
It was almost as if I was their savior.
Bells of Lemuria tolled and tolled, a roaring symphony, a crescendo of peals that set the city dancing, each note causing the crystals to shimmer and cascade with light. But the sandstorm was no natural phenomenon, and the bells did not ring for celebration. Something was very wrong here.
Aside from the pterodactyls and the Menkf and the dancing stones and the ancient magical prophecies and the crystals and now the giant bells, you mean?
If you don't want me to continue, General.
that. There's another one. Just rolling around in circles. I think I'll have to duck under them. Jumping made me go faster. Can I slide under when I get to that point? I mean, I'm supposed to jump inside the bell, am I? That's where I was supposed to make it to.
I raced through those magical structures, a righteous fire in my heart. I was like Dobrynya Nikitsch, prepared to strike at the dragon who threatened my homeland.
Your heroism is only surpassed by your modesty.
On the contrary, General, I chose Dobrynya carefully. Like him, I am a simple peasant. It was fate that chose me to descend to the Earth's core.
It was General Komanin who chose you to descend to the Earth's core. But don't let that get in the way of your story.
Well then, award General Polkovnik Komanin the highest medal in the world.
He already has several of those.
I cannot take credit for his wisdom in sending me.
These pterodactyls have terrible aim. Oh, they're getting closer. Oops. Must not go too early. Light inside this building.
What was once a rocket drill ship, built to burrow into the Earth, was now a mighty vessel, repurposed to blast off into the skies.
Oh, it broke to pieces and came back together.
There was no doubt the Toll was headed for the strange world with its clock, although to what end I was yet to understand. But there was no time to consider, no time for questions.
Ones that are going to break apart, visually distinct.
Toll was on the rocket. Little Orpheus was on the rocket. And wherever they were headed, I must head there too, to thwart his plans, recover my drill, and save the world!
Excellent time to end an episode. Oh, Ivan.
Will our enthusiastic yet disorientated hero be burnt to a cinder by the rocket's engines? Will he be smashed into the rock that surely must be beyond the Lemurian skies? Does Nikolai Petrovich Kamenyan really need any more medals? What was the strange clock, and what could it all mean? All of these questions, and more, will be answered if you're extremely lucky in the next exciting episode of Little Orpheus!
Ooh. But you know, I think we'd better stop, chat. It is getting late. Because I think, okay, yeah, we're at episode 7 and there. Oh right, they have a bonus episode for the PC release, so I don't know how long 3 more episodes will take us, but too long for tonight. I do have work tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, what a good game. Oh, there's Elite Save Game option. Yeah, it was probably there all along and I was just an idiot who didn't see it. So, that's not on me, Chad, that's not on the developer. Oh, what a fun, hilarious, and brilliantly written game. That's what's coming up on stream. Let's decide who we're going to raid first, and then I'll tell you, chaps. Is Leah still playing Flashback? No, I guess he finished it. Death Standing. Is that new FMV game? Ooh, someone's playing. Your mom is playing VIP on the Game Boy Color. My little sister had that. Rated Seraphine's in a bit. Galard Dragon's on. Maybe we should raid Bumfluff Tornado. He doesn't stream very much, and so we haven't gotten a chance to raid him in a long time. Unless... yeah, let's raid him. Slay the Princess. That sounds violent. But that's what's coming up on stream. Well, I don't know, you know, we probably only have an hour and a half left of this game. So what I should probably do is, because I will start another audiobook, but not for a couple weeks, is maybe I should try and do a bonus stream so we can finish Little Orpheus. And then on Wednesday we'll definitely continue Flashback. And Saturday we'll be playing Death by Dark Shadows for a short horror Saturday. Tragically, partially lost horror cinematic platformer. And then Sunday, we should start a new game. They do have a couple of other cinematic platforms we could play. And yeah, I kind of want to play Nameless Inheritance, which is this really obscure freeware one that I stumbled across searching the depths of itch. So maybe that's what we'll do next Sunday. But yeah, the more I think about it, of course I could save the rest of Little Orpheus, and I'll probably do a bonus stream of that. Keep an eye on Twitter and MySpace. Oops. There we go. And thank you guys all so much for going to hang out and watch me play this really delightful and well-written game. I appreciate all the chatters and all the lurkers. And thank you guys for the raids. You guys can find me on Twitter and MySpace, where I post stream announcements, polls that nobody votes in, and random things. And you can find VODs of my past streams up on YouTube. So I hope that everybody has a good night, and sleep confident in the knowledge that the Soviet Union will triumph, and we will all be saved by their glorious might and their dedication to the people. Say hi to Bumfluff Tornado, and I'll see you guys definitely on Wednesday for Flashback. If you'll excuse me, I'm really hungry. I think I could go for a nice bowl of milk and chickens.